Okay, this is a 1x4x8 Hickory board from Home Depot. I ordered two for $54. I figured I'd give it a shot and maybe I'd mess around with a hickory bow. And the first two they sent me were really bad. There was knots that went through one side and the other side of the boards. So I called up the company. It wasn't actually Home Depot, it was a company. And I said, listen, I says, you know, I didn't expect anything perfect, but there's knots going right through both sides of the boards. Oh, no problem. We'll hand pick them for you and send out new ones. So they sent me these really nice ones, all right, that they hand picked. But I figured I wanted to play around with a hickory board. They say hickory is forgiving. You don't have to play with a growth ring. You just have to round the corners off and make it long enough, and be careful tillering it. So I figured this is one of the bad boards that I cut and saved the piece, one strip out of three, and it's really not the greatest, but I'm going to trim it, cut it, and see if I can make a board out of it. I want to see how hard or easy it is, you know, to make a board and if it lasts. So I'll use the garbage stave. Now this here is one, so it's like 3/4 of an inch, and I'm taking a 1/4 inch. I'm going to cut a 1/4 of an inch off. This is a jet bandsaw, and you're able to rip wood, and you got to be very careful with it. And I'm going to rip a strip off, and I'll show you when I'm done. Okay, this is an 8-foot strip. It is 1.5 inches wide. Okay, I split a board in half, and I took off 1/4 of an inch. I ripped a 1/4 of an inch off on the nice bandsaw I have. So that makes this, let's see what it actually makes, it 3/8 of an inch. This makes it 3/8 of an inch thick, so it'll be easier to tiller. I laid out the bow. I got it center line here, and then 3/8 on each side. Okay, 3/8 on each side. Okay, I drew lines. I'm going to trim it up and show you what I have. I cut the tapers on a bandsaw. Tips are 3/4 of an inch wide. The center is 3/8, so it's 3/8 on each side. Tape it down 18 inches. I went 18 inches down to 1.5 inches wide, and I trimmed it. So we got a taper. Okay, did that on both sides. Now, since this is I'm experimenting, I want to try and make like a youth longbow, something like 20-25 pounds, just to play with. So now once I cut this, the next thing to do is I'm going to glue on a handle. I cut these pieces from the bed. From one of the bad boards I had that had knots through it and everything. I cut some, you know, I cut some pieces, and what I'm going to do is find the good edges. See, I got fairly good edges here, right? I got good edges. I'm going to put the good edge with the good edge. Okay. What I may do is glue these two boards up. Okay, and once they're glued, I might cut the fade outs in them. So this way I could just sand it and glue this already on with the fade outs. Okay, and then all I have to do is cut in a shelf at some point. Okay, but I think I'm going to pre-glue these and cut out fade outs so I could just glue them on the bow. Then after I do that, before you bend this, to make sure there isn't any grain lift or anything, you round the edges. So I'll take a little rasp, I guess, and round the edges, you know, scrape the edges good. And once everything's nice and round, I'll take, you know, sandpaper, sand it nice, get everything rounded. And I'll put the, you know, after this is on, I'll put string grooves in and see how, if I flex it, and how many pounds it'll be. But the chances are now, if I went to flex this, right, and it does give, you know. It's easy, it's going to give a lot. I'm not putting much pressure. You can see it gives, right? But if I flexed it without rounding the edges, it'd probably pop up grain, okay? So to be continued. It's going to be a rainy, miserable day today. I just wanted to prep this. And what I may do is just stick my head in and out of the garage and round the edges. I may glue this, shape them, and to be continued. Okay, well, it didn't take long, and I rasped the ends a little bit, took some of them cut marks out a little bit, then I just jumped right over to the 36-inch belt sander with a 80 grit belt that's kind of worn a little bit, and I took the rest of it down on that, and I even took the corners off on the belt sander, took the corners off, and then I finished up hand sanding with 150 grit, and it's nice and smooth. And if you can run your hand along and it feels nice and round and like nothing's popping up, we could try and floor tiller it now and just see how it feels. Let's get back farther enough for you to see. Wow, nice. I probably might be able to get a 35-pound bow out of this. I don't know. I have to see. This is the first time I remember doing this. And we're going to go to the hardware store. I'm going to buy some epoxy and glue those handles together, cut out the fade outs, and then maybe epoxy it on and see what I can do. You never know. I may be able to start this a little more than I thought today before the rain comes. We'll see. If the rain keeps up. If the rain keeps away, I'll be able to cut those pieces on the bandsaw later. All right, we'll see what happens. Okay, I bought some hickory boards and I was able to make 5 good staves out of it. One I made a practice stave out of the bad board. So I got 2 72s, a 76, 78, and a 64. Okay, I got some nice hickory boards finally, and I made some staves out of them and cut some handles out of the scrap, and I even have a couple of pieces of scrap wood to make different size handles. So far, I got three 72s, I got a 68 and a 76-inch bow that I'm going to make. I got various handles that I sanded and shaped, and I have, like I said, I have these other scrap woods that I can make longer or shorter or different handles with. And the one in the house I'm going to put together and tiller, and that'll be my experiment bow. And if it works out, maybe I'll put these together and sell a few of them. I had to order EA40 Boyer's epoxy. It's the only epoxy that's strong enough that when you put a handle on and you clamp it and you let it sit for 2 days, you never have to worry about the handle popping off. So that was worth the money. That should be here in about a week. So they're sanded, they're rounded, they're shaped. All I have to do is really till them. Put the handles on and till them. And that's it. Make strings for them. So that's my newest project, okay? Okay, I had these board bows I bought, and I cut them and I made the staves out of them, nice straight grain, okay? And I have one over here that I sanded. I glued a handle on with that EA40 epoxy. I tilled it so I have a string on it that has a low brace height, like only 6 inches for now. While I finish the tillering process, I can twist it tighter. And I just want to show you how nice it's coming out. I got a straight edge here, and from the straight edge I put on the fade out, and I'm looking from that fade out, and it looks like it's bending pretty good. Maybe a little bit more here needs to bend, okay? With the straight edge, it really highlights where I gotta go with this. So it looks like a little outer limb over here. And this one looks really good. Maybe a tiny bit on the outer limb over here. So Got cars passing, so I'm not talking. Okay, so I put a scale on it, and I believe it's going to be at least 35 pounds or more, and that's perfect for me. I like bows that are 35, 40 pounds. If I'm hunting, I'd like it a little more. But I really want a nice bow that shoots fairly well, that I can mess around at the 3D tournaments with. So here we go. I'll show you a little more at the end. Okay, I have to buy a little shorter scale. We'll make this board a little longer, draw board here. And what we're going to do is just exercise the limbs a little, get an idea how many pounds it is. And we already got it to 20. That's how come. That's once we get around 20, that's when we put the string on. So we go down to 24, and that's my 26-inch draw length. So that's about 26-inch draw length there. Okay, I have a little hand scale. We're going to check it out. Okay, I got one of these little cheap hand scales. They're fairly accurate. My draw length is 26 inches. 34.82 pounds. So that's where it's going to stay. So believe it or not, all I have to do is shape this handle and put a string, cut out a shelf, and we could shoot this because it's tilted. All right, one more time. $35.42. It's around that 35. Okay, just gonna once again a little more rounded on the sand in. I'm gonna cut a shelf and just shape the handle a little bit, and we're going to shoot this today. Okay, I cut the shelf out, and I just want to show you this multi-tool. This is the best tool for sanding I ever bought, and I'm just going to do it standing up just to show you. See all the lines in here? Okay, I won't bore you with going too far, but look how it rounds the edges nice, and it's taken down. There's a lot of saw marks. It's taken down pretty quickly, and I'm going to finish it up and shape it. But this was the best investment I ever bought for sanding. Okay, I have all of these riser blocks that I made for the staves, for the hickory staves, and what I got to do is I'm going to shape all of these, get them nice and looking good so they could be glued on with that EA40. I got to get them the right thickness. I'll mark each one so I know what stave it goes to. And this will be pretty much prepped. So I could just glue it on the center and then work on the tillering. Well, no real solar eclipse here. Okay, so during a big solar eclipse, I was making hickory boards and handles and shaping them. I'm going to glue those handles on, cut string grooves in tomorrow, and there'll be bows soon. Okay, I came inside and I put a serving on the tillering string, the string I was using for tillering. It's got a 6 3/4 brace height. Now, a 72-inch bow is too long for me. It don't store enough energy, and I'd have to use like kitty arrows or 1200 spine arrows out. So we're going to see what this weighs at 28, and then we're going to see what it weighs at 29 and 30 pounds too. Okay, 33 pounds at 28. Try it again. 33 pounds at 28. Let's go to 29. At 29, it's 34.52. And let's go to 30 because it's a 72 inch. So let's go to 30 and see what 30 is. It's 35.6 at 30. And I know some guys that have a 31 inch draw. Let's see what 31 inch would be. And it's 72. It should really handle it. So let's see. If it breaks, you catch it on camera, but I'm going to see it should be fine. Okay, it's 38.5 pounds. 38.5 pounds at 31. All right, so this is holding up pretty well. I'm going to get one of these little like 1200 spine arrows and take a couple of shots and show you. Only because, like I said, it don't store enough energy at my draw length. You know, I would have to shoot like a 64 inch. I'd have to shoot like a 64 inch bow. Come on, get down, Shadow. All right, stay there. Okay, she's looking out the back window, Shadow, over there because the turkeys are in the back. They attack the bird feeder every day. Okay. Go on, go in the back door and look at them. Okay, once again, it's 30 pounds, 29.9. So these are 1200 spine arrows. They should be like lightning out of here. Just gonna pause it, get my tab. Okay, I had to get my tab, it was inside. I got these little 1200 spine arrows, and once again, like I said, 72 inch bow is way too big for me. The limbs don't store enough energy. And as you see, this can go out to 31. So what I'm going to do is I just take a couple of shots with these 1200 spine because that's, you know, what equates to me with a long bow, only shooting 26 inches, and just see how they fly. Just to say I took a few shots. Okay, just about touching arrows down there. Those little dots shoot like lightning out of here, but that's kind of what I need. So here we go. Here's the hickory bow. Looking good, right? Looking good. I actually like this hickory. I'm kind of liking the hickory better than I am the Osage to a point. You know, it's easier to work with, and it's coming out good. So all I have left to do is, when I get done, is I'm going to just shape the tips, which you saw me shape tips on the other videos. And I'm going to decide what kind of finish goes on this. Maybe I'll leave it if somebody wants to buy it. One of my friends or something are interested in it, I could stain it or do whatever kind of finish they want to let them do it. So, okay, I have a few more to work on. There's a 64 inch one out there and shorter, and that's going to be mine. That'll be mine, and it'll store a little more energy, and I'll be able to shoot a little better spine arrow out of it. So that's the end of this hickory board build. And thanks for watching. Subscribe to my channel. Watch the other videos. You never know what I put on. And every day you wake up is a good day, okay? Enjoying the day. Thanks for watching. Not bad, right? Not bad. Beautiful. You don't see any real backset or nothing in this, right? Just tiny, tiny Really not noticeable. I'm really happy with the build. I like it so far. Okay? Once again, enjoy your day.